So hey, everybody. Hey, I haven't been live. My gosh. But I'm live today, and I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Namely, I wanted to talk about this. I won this a couple weeks ago, and I shared it in my social media, but I haven't talked about it, and I feel it is important to talk about. First and foremost, because I am the only black person to do it. At first, I thought I was the only black woman, but I'm the only black person to become Rookie of the Year for Keap. And I've been trying to write a press release about it. Hey, I've been trying to write a press release about it, and I couldn't because I've never been that person about labels, right? And I remember having this conversation about why this is so important to me. And I know I'm getting emotional, but I don't think people know what I was going through at the time that I got this award. So excuse the tears, excuse the emotion, but this is so important to me. And I really want people to know why. So, first and foremost, again, most of the time when you're a black person and you talk about technology, most people that don't really get it. They don't get what you're talking about. They don't expect you to understand it as a black woman. They just don't know why it's important to you. But I've been doing automation and stuff for a long time. When I was the controller of Wyoming Concrete, even before I was the controller, even as the billing clerk, I helped 7 locations connect their technology together so that they could manage everything from one central location. When it was time to rebuild and build a new company, when a new technology platform, when Windows came out, I did that. Myself. I mean, they brought people in to do it, but it was my job to manage this. And so, like, I've never been a labels person. So, like, Jeremy, who's my guy at Keap, him and I have had this conversation of how I don't typically compete for things like this, or like, because I'm not about the labels. To me, as soon as I start getting focused in doing it for those reasons, to me, I've lost who I am. That's not what I stand for. But I noticed a couple of trends that was happening about a year ago. And so I decided that I had to start doing the labels. Now, the reason I had to start doing the labels was because the labels are what make most people excited, right? Like right now, I'm almost finished with my doctorate. Now, that doctorate means a lot to me, and I've been really happy to do it. But at the same time, I've been doing all of the things that this doctorate is going to afford me to do. I've been doing them already. And so when I talk about being the first black woman, the first black person, I've been the first for a really, really, really long time. And but there's reasons why I got to talk about it and be upfront and talk about it now. First and foremost, what am I stuck on? Like the edification, like I don't have a problem with saying, hey, I'm the first black person to do this. That's not the problem. I think the problem is more about, like, that isn't my reason. It's just not my reason to do it. You know that. Probably just about as much as anybody. Like, I really care if you get it. I care if you're successful. I care if you're to make sure that you aren't one of those people who are just looking, hoping to look big and not really have anything. So that, I think that's one of the most important things that I care about. Yeah, I got a lot of quotes, so I can definitely add some quotes to the press release. But the reason I want to talk about it is because The reason I decided to start doing the labels was so that there would be somebody in the world who's talking about the real shit and who is talking about how to get over the real shit. And one of the things that's happening out here with a lot of businesses is this whole popularity thing, right? Like, being popular does not always equate to getting paid. And so one of the things that this technology, the sales and automation technology, helps businesses do is really take the time to generate and to cultivate relationships and build deeper conversations. And a lot of times people aren't doing that. They're focused on that hot lead in the moment. And when you don't get that, then you either feel like you failed or you're still hustling. You're always hustling for that person who's right in front of you, who's right in front of you. And what sales and marketing automation allows you to do is it allows you to have a deeper conversation. So even the person who might said no today might say yes in 3 or 4 months. And this is how I'm able to scale people's businesses, 10x them in a year. Now, most people, were like, oh, that ain't possible. She can't do that, blah, 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 blah. But I've been using this software for over 10 years. I might be a rookie as a partner, but like I've been doing this for a long time. And when I talk to people, because I'm talking sometimes differently than what other people are saying, people are like, man, she's got to be losing her damn mind. Like, because I'm not telling you to run out there and fake it to look big, right? Like to try to have all of these followers and this, that, and the other. In fact, I want you to do an exercise with me. If you're trying to grow a business online, I want you to take the amount of followers you have across all of your social media platforms, and I want you to add them up. And then I want you to subtract 30% because that is the average of the people who are typically following you on every platform. And then I want you to divide that by the amount of money you make per month, the amount of revenue that you are generating in your business. If that is not at least $1 or more, and it should be even more, but if it isn't at least $1, then that would show me right from day one that you've been focusing more on being popular than transforming people to actual sales conversations, generating leads, making sure that they're on your list. That's an indicator I'm looking at before I do anything with any business. Now, a lot of times people will inflate their numbers, right? And they'll tell you that they make whatever, but I always get down to the nitty gritty. So if you want to know if you're focusing more on popularity, you can take that number. You can take that to the bank. Like, if you aren't generating at least $1 for that number, then you've been focusing on being popular. Now listen, being popular is okay. And there's one business model where that is the most important, and that's being an influencer. Because an influencer is getting somebody else to pay them for their audience, right? That's a difference. So like coming in and actually having these real conversations instead of everybody looking big and then most people living a life of secret desperation. Now, this is the part that I think gets me so emotional is, this whole year of 2020, I started out with 40 speaking engagements, like on the books. I was on a roll, going from place to place, knocking out these speaking engagements. And I was talking about most business owners living lives of secret desperation. And when this pandemic hit, like it just confirmed everything that I had been talking about, because most people are just looking at what somebody is doing on social media and then modeling it and then putting it out there and hoping that it's going to work. And I remember when I was doing this is when I first started doing the speaking engagements for, bringing Keap into the whole mix and this, that, and the other. And I remember being at some small engagements. Some have maybe 10 people, maybe 15. And by the time I would leave, I would start getting telephone calls from almost every single person that was in the audience. Because when I started telling the story of living a life of secret desperation, and not being fully present in my business hardly ever, because I'm focusing on, family stuff or whatever. Because, when you're in that sandwich generation, my parents have passed on, but when you've taken care of people, and then you've also, you have people on both ends that you really care about, and you think people before money. Like, I need my business to run, but I can't let my business run me. And I talk a lot about, the day my mom died, and how I was, at a client's location, and how after she died, I had to get up and go to that client's location and spend the day, the very day that my mom passed away, with them to make sure they were ready for something I was doing with them. Like, I talk a lot about that, and I talk about how it made me feel because I wasn't there in the moments that I felt I needed to be. So I refuse to ever do that again. And so I literally, every time I leave, like, sometimes people wouldn't say it in the room, but then I would start getting phone calls. And they would be like, man, Tina, when you said this, it struck a nerve to me. When you said this, it struck a nerve to me. And man, I'm living that life of secret desperation. Yeah, I get clients, but I don't get clients consistently. And if I don't get on that computer today, I feel like everything's going to just fall apart. And so slowly but surely, over the course, let's say if I did an event in January and there were 15 people at that event, by the time March or April happened, almost every single one of them would become my client, because they saw that everything I was telling them was true. And if you have a business and you aren't furthering the relationships and putting some of what you're doing in automation, then you are working way too hard and you're believing that something is going to happen that isn't. Listen, more than 25%, I saw this on LinkedIn, the actual editor of LinkedIn put this stat out yesterday. 25% of women-owned businesses have closed during this pandemic. Even in relationship to the number of people that have opened a business, 25% of businesses have closed. And one of those reasons are, okay, now all your kids is home, right? And you're trying to Zoom, and at the same time, the kids is in the background. And believe me, I know, because my grandkids have been with me. And, but at the same time, I know those emails and those videos are going out. And I know that they're building a deeper relationship. And the funny part of all of this is it all came right back around when we just had the thing with my grandson, with my daughter, and having to bury my grandson. Like, that day, I was supposed to be at an event or the very next day at an event for my client. One of my clients was literally, she's doing a summit, and I was supposed to be part of it. But I put so much work into making sure that her automation and everything was stable. She was like, you can't be here. And I was like, I know I can't. And it went on like a fine oil machine, because we had all of this in place. Now, I'm telling you this because I know at the end of the day, there are a lot of people who are watching this and who are going to watch this. And there might be people you want to share this with in private. You don't got to share it on their timeline, but share it to their inbox, who are living exactly what I'm telling you right now. And if you know them, share this video. It is time for them to begin to add sales and marketing to their mix, automation, and automation in your delivery too, because it is really the great equalizer. I've been doing a project, that we're getting up and running. It's something we've created to help Black women. And the biggest part that's been the biggest challenge is it doesn't seem like this is the thing that's going to work. It actually seems almost counterintuitive, especially if you've been used to working so hard to get everything you got. Like, it feels like this can't work. Nah, I can't believe that, because if I do this and like if I let my hands off of it, then I'm not going to have what I need. And I'm going to tell you, it's the very thing that you need to do. So as I'm trying to write this press release and really get it into words, what's in my heart, is I don't want you to have to live a life of secret desperation because you're trying to save face like most people out here are doing. Most people are trying to save face, and this is what I mean. So let's say you plan on doing a launch, right? And you're launching your product and you've been following everybody and you think you've done it to a T, and you get 2 people in that launch. And now everything you've done, you feel like it's a waste because you only got 2 people. I'm telling you, if you add sales and marketing automation to it and you make it evergreen, you're going to watch those 2 people over the course of 12 months become 200. But don't give up and save face, because that's the thing. Oh, well, at least I tried. And at least I did this. Like, that's the save face thing we do. Like, I shared a post in my social media last year and reshared it again on why I will not save face in anything ever again. So I just want you to know that there are ways right now that you can build your business. If you feel like you're about to give up, don't give up. And if you feel like it's not working, it can work, but you need somebody who's going to look at every step of the way. See, one of the things that Keap does, with the way that I use it and the platform, is you're actually looking at every step along the way of the customer experience. The traffic, the conversion from traffic to a lead, from the lead to through the actual buying process. Are they warm yet? Are they ready to convert? Oh, now that they've converted, are they satisfied? Are they happy? Are they a Raven fan to the point where they will refer you? Like, that's one of the things that doing this helps you do that most people don't understand. I remember watching one of Brendan Bouchard's training videos recently, and he talked about something like, I think his number was like 35%. People he had talked to on the phone who said no at that moment, that 35% of them came back because he still continued to nurture them. Most people move on. If they say no, you go, okay, and you don't put anything else in place to keep that going. Like, that's where the juice is. I should turn that off. That's where the juice is. And we've been doing this for over 10 years. Well, yeah, I'm the Rookie of the Year. We've been doing that for a long, long, long time. So, I'm real passionate about this. And I'm real passionate because, like, as I was winning this, I wasn't, again, fully present in my business because I had some things going on in my family and that I needed to attend to. But I can tell you one thing for sure, 2 things for certain, is that when I go back and look and see that people have been nurtured, and then people are still coming in to watching videos and like coming into my lead magnets and moving through the buying process and are ready to have conversations as soon as I'm ready, that's a whole different ball game. And most people don't have that who should. A lot of you are rock stars, but you're rock stars that are working too hard. Or you're rock stars that are waiting for some old way to come back that's never coming back. You have the ability to use the same systems that you see the big gurus in the world use. And I remember having a conversation with Dr. Tracy McClelland, and we talked about why she had been using Infusionsoft. when I started working with her. She had gotten Infusionsoft before I worked with her, but then I helped her do something. And I said, so why did you get Infusionsoft? She said, you know what, Tina? All of the people who had what I want, when I looked at the bottom of their emails, it had Infusionsoft. So I was going to use what they had. And that was the same reason I bought it. And, again, it took me 10 years to decide to become a partner. I don't know why, though, but it's okay. It took me 10 years to decide to become a partner. But now that I am, I'm never going back because I know what this does and I know how it's changing lives. The last thing I'm going to finish with is this. I've been talking about the Melanin Owned Business Launchpad, why it's so important to me, because again, Black women are less than $20,000 in revenue a year in comparison to a white woman who's averaging more than $142,000 in revenue per year. And like, it's time to change that disparity. And while everybody can sit and talk about it and study it and all of this kind of stuff, I am a person that's about, let's get this action in and let's put in the work and let's get it done. Whether I talk about it or not. And so I'm telling you this because a lot of times when you're sitting back and you're looking at things that don't seem to make sense, it's time for you to stretch beyond what you see everybody else doing, because most people are living those lives of secret desperation. And you don't want to do that. And if you want to claim something different, it's time to try something different. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that haven't done sales and marketing automation. And you think you are because you're doing emails, but you do a little email marketing, every week you send out a newsletter. That is not sales and marketing automation. That is sending out a broadcast every week. So and I'm not saying that to belittle anybody's knowledge of what sales and marketing automation is, but I just want to make sure you understand that that is not what it is. Like, if I were to just make it as simple as possible, I want to, based on certain actions, based on something that a prospect does, I want a reply, a customized reply to go out to them, whether that's based on a behavior, whether it's based on a certain amount of time, regardless of whatever it's based on, that's what I want. And that's what true automation does. And when you add a little bit of video to it, it can 10x you in a short period of time. So if you're living that life of secret desperation, I'm hoping that this is going to give me some clarity on what I'm going to write in this press release, because I'm still so freaking passionate about all of it that I can't settle into writing. But it will come. If you have any suggestions after you've listened to this video, like inbox them to me or put them in the comments or something. If you know somebody who needs to hear this because they're still, pushing the boulder up the pushing the boulder up the hill, and they're feeling like giving up, share this with them, because, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. I know there's a lot of people that say retreat. The universe is always ever expanding, so never retreat or retract. It is the retraction that's keeping you from your glory. So I'm going to shut up now. Thank you for listening, and I hope it's going to give me some clarity so I can get this done. I'll see you soon. Bye.